Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Washington State Patrol is mourning the loss of one of their own after a trooper was found dead in an avalanche.
Plus, Washington State University's quarterback is suspended indefinitely after Pullman police arrested him.
And with these temperatures continuing to drop, looking ahead to some snow chances on the way. More details on that forecast is coming up.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and happy Tuesday, everyone, and thanks for waking up with us. Kristen, I know you've been telling us how we're looking at a very cold week ahead.
Yep.
And actually, just a little bit on the show, we're going to be taking a look back at 2 years ago when there was that blizzard.
So hard to believe, yeah, looking at those pictures and the video, that was the scene. So yeah, we'll be talking about that here coming up, kind of right on time with some of the cold and the snow chances that'll be building in here for us over the coming days. And each and every day, so thankfully, it's gradually getting colder. It's not just a big drop in our temperatures, but as you head on out the door this morning, a live look in downtown Yakima, most locations are down into the 20s early this morning. So a look at our current temperatures right now, 27 in Walla Walla, 28 right now in the Tri-Cities. Good morning to you in Prosser. You're at 30 degrees, and then upper 20s over into Yakima. Now, as we take a look at Sky Watch radar, there are a few light returns that are trying to pop up. So these are some snow flurries that we could have around the area very early on this morning. Other than that, we're going to see some sunshine returning this afternoon, so we will see some of those improvements. So we are looking at a partly sunny sky for today, 35 by lunchtime, and climbing up to 40 degrees this afternoon. But again, temperatures continuing to drop. Snow chances on the way. I'll have more details on that full forecast. It's coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. A Washington State trooper was killed yesterday in an avalanche in Kittitas County. 51-year-old Steve Howley of Cle Elum was off duty riding a snow bike in the French Cabin Creek area when he was buried by a wall of snow. A friend he was snow biking with was also caught in the avalanche, but was able to dig himself out and go call for help. At least 14 people have died in avalanches in the past week due to dangerous conditions, heavy snow and strong winds in the west, making for the deadliest week of U.S. avalanches on record.
Can't imagine that you're not going to see Steve Poole anymore. He's a fixture around here. And those of us who know him, just, it hurts, and we feel really bad for his family, his wife, and his children.
Howley was a 28-year veteran of Washington State Patrol. Richland police are investigating a shooting Saturday night that left a man in critical condition. Police say it appears people got into a fight at an apartment complex near Chief Joseph Middle School late Saturday night, and then a local hospital called to say someone had come in and they'd been shot. Police say most of the people who were involved in the fight were already gone by the time officers got there. The Pendleton man who asked to get out of jail to see a dying family member, then allegedly cut his ankle monitor off and ran, is back in custody. Walla Walla police say officers picked up Richard Anthony Smith in Umatilla County over the weekend. He's now facing extra charges for lying to law enforcement and unauthorized use of a vehicle, in addition to several other charges. WSU's starting quarterback has been suspended indefinitely after Pullman police say they caught him driving drunk Saturday morning. Police say 19-year-old Jaden DeLaura failed a field sobriety test and refused a breathalyzer test. DeLaura allegedly drove through a stop sign on College Hill about 2:15 in the morning.
A new plan to breach the lower Snake River dams is getting a lot of attention. We go into great detail on YakTriNews.com, but here's the gist of it. Idaho Congressman Mike Simpson wants to take out the 4 dams closest to us starting in 2030. He released a $33 billion proposal to tack on to the Biden administration's anticipated infrastructure bill.
But I'm not certain removing these dams will restore Idaho's salmon and prevent their extinction. But I am certain that if we do not take this course of action, we are condemning Idaho's salmon to extinction.
The bill would replace wheat barges, and grain growers would get $1.5 billion to adapt. They'd likely send grain on trucks and trains to our area instead. The Tri-Cities would also get $600 million to become a transportation hub. Washington would get $300 million to upgrade roads and rails, and the Energy Department would run a $10 billion fund out of PNNL to replace hydropower with nuclear, wind, solar, biomass, or battery storage power. Another $2 billion would be used to upgrade the the electrical grid. Regional leaders argue, though, saying the clean, renewable power generated by the dams along the Columbia and Snake Rivers supplies half of the Pacific Northwest's energy and is critical for a reliable power grid. Without it, life as we know it in our region would cease to exist, end quote. The city of Pasco just launched a new app. They announced Monday that the Ask Pasco app will be released to connect community members and streamline local information. The app was made to help residents of Pasco connect with city services directly from their smartphones. Local residents can pay their utility bills, submit non-emergency requests for services, report public issues, and more. The app is now available in the Apple App Store and Google Play stores. We also have a link to download it on our website, yaktrinews.com. The Kadlec Foundation announced it's partnering with the Tri-Cities Union Gospel Mission and the Grace Clinic to create a new service for the homeless. The new service will be hiring a nurse or care coordinator to work at the men's shelter with patients getting out of the hospital. $80,000 has been contributed by the Kadlec Foundation and the Community Benefit Program to help people in our community who may need it most.
Our vision at the foundation at Kadlec is to elevate our community's health, and that is everyone, and including people who unfortunately don't have a home to live in.
Mission officials say they plan on having 3 rooms for the service, providing for at least 6 patients that are returning from the hospital. The Tri-City Union Gospel Mission is located in Pasco off of South 4th Avenue.
At 5:06, let's take a quick break here on Good Morning Northwest. But before we do, a live look outside.
And we have a lot of changes heading in our direction as we move throughout your week. Again, we're talking about those colder temperatures, snow chances moving in. More details in that full forecast that's coming up.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Climate change is forcing oil companies large and small to rethink their once reliable business models. Chevron's name has become synonymous with the oil and gas industry over its 140-year history. But the company CEO, Michael Wirth, told CNN Business Chevron may not be an oil-first company in 20 years. The Chevron boss said oil and gas will still play a very big part in 2040, but he pointed specifically to expansions of cleaner alternatives such as green hydrogen and carbon capture and storage. Bad news for allergy and asthma sufferers. New research indicates that climate change is making pollen worse in the U.S. and Canada. It's also making the pollen season longer. That's according to a study published in the peer-reviewed journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. According to the research, current pollen seasons kicked off 20 days earlier and last 10 days longer than they did in 1990. They also bring an estimated 21% more pollen. We'll take a look at this. A landslide over the weekend closed SR 20 around 30 miles east of Burlington. And now there's a 100-mile detour for anybody who needs to get past it. The Department of Transportation says the SR 20 will likely stay closed until at least next week. And remember this, exactly 2 years ago, the Tri-Cities was pounded by a record-breaking blizzard that smashed snowfall records across our area. The snowstorm helped the Tri-Cities break a record for most snowfall in the month of February. The National Weather Service said parts of the Tri-Cities saw anywhere from 25 to 40 inches of snow that month. That total broke a record of 24 inches set in 1916. Yakima also broke its record for most snowfall that February with over 20 inches. Yakima's previous record had been 17.7 inches back in 2014. Checking in now with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls. I know, Kristen, it's supposed to be pretty cold this week. Nothing like that, though.
I don't think we're going to see anything like that, but it will be quite the change from the winter that we've seen so far. It's been pretty mild. Temperatures, for the most part, have been either at or just above freezing for our high temperatures. But let's break down what we're going to see moving in our direction over the next couple of days. Now, we will see a big drop in temperatures. We are calling it an Arctic blast. Numbers will be dropping down into the 20s for high temperatures. Low temperatures down even into the single digits at times. We are looking at snow still still by the end of the week, Thursday into Friday. And now our winds will be picking up as well as some of these the snow chances start to move in. So certainly turning blustery, which wind chill values at times could be below zero. This is as we look into early Friday morning as those winds are going to be kicking up. Now there's still some uncertainty with the track of this system for Thursday into Friday. Right now, some of the latest models have the track just a little bit further south of the area. We are still looking at snow locally, just a couple of inches right now, but the bulk of the winter storm just further south. Now there's a winter storm watch in place just south of our area starting Thursday afternoon through Friday evening. I will say there's still some uncertainty with this system, so the track could change just a little bit, and some of the heaviest snow could be tracking a little bit further north. So that's something we'll continue to keep you posted on. Early this morning, as you head on out the door on Skywatch radar, we are looking at maybe a few snow flurries popping up. You can see some of those light returns around our area, just up towards Othello, around Walla Walla this morning. So just a heads up, there is that possibility with that mostly cloudy sky. But for the most part, we should see some pretty quiet weather around the Pacific Northwest today. A lot of those snow chances, a lot of the snow that was flying back through the Cascades yesterday, that has now died down. So our mountain pass is looking much better out there today. But let's switch over to Futurecast as we time things out for you with some of those snow chances. Again, clearing out this afternoon with more sunshine back in the forecast for today. Should be an overall quiet weather day on Friday, but really the system that we are watching for Thursday. You can see some of the heaviest snow just further to our south. There's a look at 8 a.m. Thursday morning. We are looking again at a couple of inches moving in our direction for Thursday afternoon into Friday morning. By Friday morning, we should start to see some improvement, but I do think we will hang on to some snow chances. I know this model trying to show us clearing out pretty quickly on Friday, but I do think the first half of the day on Friday we'll continue to see more snow showers around the area. So both Thursday and Friday morning and even towards the afternoon could be a bit dicey as you're heading to work and from work. But as we head into Saturday and Sunday, things are looking to improve around the area. Temperatures out the door this morning, we are looking at numbers into the 20s out the door. There's that temperature drop that I'm talking about. Big drop in numbers, 20 to 25 degrees below average, 26 on Friday, 27 on Saturday, and then we should be back up on Sunday to 31 degrees. So again, as I mentioned, those temperatures out the door this morning, we're at 28 in the Tri-Cities, upper 20s from Pendleton into Walla Walla, 29 in Yakima, 19 degrees though in Cle Elum early on. And our wind speeds today should be fairly light, between 10 to 15 miles per hour. So as we get you to that forecast for this afternoon, 39 in Yakima with 37 in Ellensburg, jumping up to 40 today in the Tri-Cities with 41 in Hermiston, and then upper 30s from Walla Walla into Pendleton. So overnight tonight should be another quiet night, but just bitterly cold. Numbers should be in the low 20s, even some teens across the area for tonight. So 7-day forecast, the snow chances building in Thursday into Friday, blustery conditions, those wind chill values again dropping down below zero at times, but 26 Friday, 27 on Saturday, and 31 by Sunday. And then that 7-day forecast for Yakima, sunshine tomorrow, and then those snow chances building in Thursday into Friday.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. We're tracking new information about the potentially deadly coronavirus complication that tends to impact children. The CDC has confirmed more than 2,000 cases of multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, also known as MIS-C. It sometimes shows up days or even weeks after children seem to have recovered from COVID-19. That's what happened to 8-year-old Anthony Rodriguez Jr. just a few weeks ago.
He started having like bloodshot eyes, cracked lips, a little bit vomiting. So we just both got this bad feeling. Even though he was getting better, he just has bad feeling. We rushed him to the hospital. They did tell us he was suffering from septic shock and he was having heart failure.
That bad feeling may have also saved Anthony's life. He had to spend some time in the ICU, but doctors expect him to make a full recovery. Doctors don't know exactly what causes MIS-C or why so many kids have come down with it after getting coronavirus. It can show up as a fever, rash, upset stomach, trouble breathing, bloodshot eyes, or extreme fatigue.
Take a look at this at 525. This is one lucky lady. Orlean Peterson of Idaho won 2 six-figure lottery prizes 2 days in a row. The chances of that happening, about 1 in 282.5 million, according to Idaho lottery officials. One ticket was worth $200,000. The other, purchased in a different store in a different town, was was worth $300,000. Peterson says she's planning to use the money to pay bills and buy a new truck. She'll be able to do a lot more than that. But Neil, you pointed out she's not the only lucky Idaho lottery ticket player.
If she buys that truck, she needs to come pick us up, drive us to Idaho so we can buy some lottery tickets, because that one guy we mentioned last week has won 6 times.
Exactly. There's something on water.
Something's going on over there.
Something's going on.
We need to see.
Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, President Biden is pushing to raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour. We'll take a look at the impact that could have on everything from your job to Medicare costs.
Plus, we're breaking down the push to get agriculture workers vaccinated and when workers in Washington will get their shot.
And temperatures continue to drop over the coming days. Snow chances building in. More details, that full forecast during the 5:30 half hour.
We just made some good law in the state of Washington.
Coming up on Good Morning Northwest, Governor Inslee officially signing Washington's first law of 2021, how it should help businesses and people relying on unemployment.
Plus, we're talking about how hospital officials found out about a huge shipment of fake N95 masks and what that means for healthcare workers.
And our snow chances will be going up over the next couple of days. More details on what we can expect and those bitterly cold temperatures. It's on its way.
From Camp KVUE Local News, this is Good Morning Northwest.
Good morning, Northwest, and happy Tuesday, everybody. Kristen, you've been warning us about the cold that's coming. So is today still kind of the calm before all of that?
It is, gradually, slowly but surely, we're going to see these temperatures drop. It's not going to be a huge drop each and every day, but I think it's going to kind of prepare us for what's ahead. Let's get you started, though, first with that live look. This is from the Legend Skycam Network over at Richland's Columbia Point, and we have a pretty quiet start very early this morning. There are a few snow flurries that have been popping up from time to time, but I'm going to get you over to some of our current temperatures right now. We're starting off at 28 in the Tri-Cities, 27 Walla Walla. Take a look at Cle Elum this morning. You're down to 19 degrees, and then those upper 20s for Yakima. So as I mentioned, we have a few light returns that are popping up here in Skywatch radar. Very hard to pick out, but don't be surprised if you see a few snow flurries this morning. I think for the most part, we'll just have that mostly cloudy sky and then some clearing taking place this afternoon with some sunshine. So there's your Tuesday forecast, mid-30s at lunchtime, 40 for that afternoon high temperature. So tracking those snow chances, when you can expect the snow, how much you could possibly pick up, your full forecast is coming up.
Thank you, Kristen. Governor Inslee just signed the first law of the 2021 legislative session, making changes to unemployment.
Senate Bill 5061 both increases the minimum unemployment benefits for workers and provides $1.7 billion in unemployment tax relief for businesses across the next 5 years.
Well, that means businesses who had to lay off workers because of Governor Inslee's shutdown orders last spring won't have to pay the government back for more than $1 billion in unemployment benefits paid out during that time. It also makes it so everyone who files for unemployment in Washington state will get at least $270 per week starting in July. Washingtonians are getting an extra chance to sign up for health insurance. That starts next week and lasts until mid-May. The state insurance commissioner says hundreds of thousands of people don't have health insurance right now, and he wants to get as many people covered as possible who could need medical care during the pandemic. Again, that special enrollment period starts Monday. If you go through the Washington Health Benefit Exchange, you may qualify for federal help to pay your insurance premiums as well. Well, one piece of President Biden's coronavirus relief proposal calls for more than doubling the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour in the next 4 years. A report from the Congressional Budget Office, which isn't aligned with any political party, says that kind of increase would lift almost 1 million people out of poverty, but it could also cost nearly 1.5 million people their jobs. The CBO says raising the minimum wage would mean fewer people needing government help for food and medical care, but Medicaid could cost more per person, and the government may have to spend more on Social Security and unemployment benefits. This brings us to our poll question of the day. Do you support raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour? You can vote now at yaktrinews.com/vote or just open our app and click on the poll question there. We'll have those results at the end of the show. Health officials say things are looking up in Yakima County,
with the county scheduled to receive one of the largest vaccine shipments it's had in weeks. KapKVU's Emily Goodell has the story.
Vaccine shipments in counties across Washington state are up and down as different amounts of doses arrive every week.
For this week, we will be getting a total of 5,725 doses, which is higher than we've received in the past.
Health officials say this week is a good one for Yakima County.
We hope that means that more community members who've been waiting on the wait list or have been waiting to schedule their vaccine can do so this week.
More than 60% of the shipment is set aside for second doses.
More people are going to be going in to get that second dose, which is going to give them that full 94 to 95% of efficacy and protection against the COVID strain.
However, it's still not enough to open the county-run drive-through mass vaccination site at State Fair Park, which has been sitting empty for weeks.
That's not as much as we would like to see. There's still definitely more vaccine that we could utilize in our community, but it's a step in the right direction.
There's also no guarantee Yakima County will get the same amount of doses or more next week.
We just want to caution everyone that this does change every week, so we just got to stay patient and stay hopeful and know that we are going to be getting more vaccine in our community every week. It just may vary about how much that may be.
In Yakima, Emily Goodell, KapKVU Local News.
Thank you, Emily. In just about 2 weeks, the Benton County Fairgrounds mass vaccination site has administered thousands of shots. Nearly 8,000 vaccinations have been administered at the fairgrounds since the clinic opened. And despite some heavy winds over the weekend, they still got the job done. They open back up today and go through Friday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and they're open from 9 a.m. until noon on Saturday. You can learn how to make an appointment at our website, yaktrinews.com. California originally planned to start vaccinating agriculture workers along with teachers and grocery store clerks right after they finished vaccinating healthcare workers. But now the state is trying to focus more on seniors, and that's causing some backlash with concerns it might be late summer before agriculture workers are protected.
Latinos are most likely to get COVID and also to die from it. So we know the risk is very high, and we know many of our Latinos are essential workers.
The government, when it comes to vaccine allocation and when it comes to meeting its equity targets, to take into consideration the individuals that never stopped working during this pandemic.
Here in Washington, the agriculture industry has asked Governor Inslee to push farm workers and food processors higher in the vaccine priority line. Since their work can't wait until later in the year, as it stands right now, agriculture workers who are at least 50 years old will be eligible for the vaccine in the next phase. Younger workers will have to wait until teens and adults with underlying conditions have their chance to get vaccinated. As healthcare workers across the state fight COVID-19, they're also dealing with criminals trying to cash in on the pandemic. Over the weekend, the Washington State Hospitals Association found out 300,000 N95 masks they purchased were fake. Homeland Security actually gave hospitals the heads up.
Head straps are great. They're secured on very nicely. The inside looks just like it's supposed to. It has the metal bar. You can see that it has the 3M marking on it. We keep saying it's a very good fake.
There's huge demand for N95 masks because they offer better protection against viruses. Since there's no guarantee about how much protection the knockoffs offer, hospitals have to throw them out and start over.
It's now time to raise the flag here on Good Morning Northwest with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Now, KapKVU First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Kristen Walls.
Well, there's certainly a lot to get to here in the forecast. We're still looking at some bitterly cold temperatures moving in our direction over the coming days. Some snow is still expected by the end of the work weekend, turning blustery. So with some of the snow, the wind will also pick up. And with that, especially early on Friday morning, we can actually see some wind chill values dipping below zero. So certainly the coldest air of the season moving in our direction by the end of the week. So as we get you over to the snow and what we're expecting, right now, the National Weather Service has a winter storm watch further to our south. So this is just south of our area right now, Thursday afternoon through Friday evening. I will say there's still some uncertainty as to the path and where this low pressure system is going to track. So if it does head a little bit further up to our north, we could see some slightly higher amounts of snowfall. But under the winter storm watch, current amounts, this does include portions of Bend and a lot of portions of Oregon, expecting 6 to 8 inches of snowfall where there is that winter storm watch. But here locally, early this morning, we have a few snow flurries that are trying to pop up here on Skywatch radar. Majority of the area just going to start off with that mostly cloudy sky, but we will have a little bit more sunshine returning this afternoon. A brief ridge of high pressure will be building in for the coming days, so we will have some pretty quiet weather, although our temperatures will be dropping a bit over the next couple of days. So there's a look at later on this afternoon. The clouds will clear out, some sunshine returns for us today. Now Wednesday, we're looking at some pretty quiet weather as well, but I want to give you a closer look as we time this system out as it gets a little bit closer on Thursday. So here's Futurecast. Again, this is a look at 5 o'clock in the afternoon on Wednesday, but then as we head into Thursday, those snow chances will start to build in from the south. Still looking at the highest snowfall just south of our area, but it could be a bit dicey for that morning commute. There's a look at lunchtime. A lot of snowfall around the area, and that will continue for your Thursday afternoon. I do think a lot of this will linger into early in the first part of the day on Friday before it starts to clear out. So some early numbers with this system that we're expecting on the ground. Looking at generally 1 to 2 inches for the parts of the Columbia Basin, extending into the Yakima Valley. Parts of Pendleton and Walla Walla, though, could be picking up anywhere between 3 to 4 inches. And again, further south into parts of Oregon, south of our area, into portions of Bend, we'll see 6 to 8 inches with the system. So that's where we're seeing the highest amount, or they will see the highest amount with that system. Still uncertainty, so this is something we'll continue to watch for you. But with the snow, we have those bitterly cold temperatures moving in as well. Upper 20s here Friday into Saturday. Wind chill values even lower than that. And then we'll finally start to see a slow rebound by next week. Although Monday, we could see another snow chance in here for President's Day. So we'll watch that one for you as well by next week. 28 right now in the Tri-Cities, 27 in Walla Walla, down to 29 in Yakima. Wind speeds today will be fairly light, between 10 to as much as 15. Moses Lake this morning up to about 14 miles per hour. So temperatures for this afternoon, upper 30s from Toppenish into Yakima. Tri-Cities today at 40 degrees, 41 in Hermiston, and then over into Walla Walla and Pendleton, looking at those highs in the upper 30s. So for tonight, just another cold night. A lot of lows dipping down into the low 20s. A few spots, though, there into the teens. So there is your 7-day. Snow chances Thursday into Friday. It looks to be pretty quiet over the upcoming weekend, and then we should see another snow chance moving in there by Monday of next week. And then your 7-day forecast for Yakima, also looking at some snow chances there Thursday and Friday as those winds pick up. Coldest day on Friday at 24, and then turning quiet over the upcoming weekend for Saturday with a high of 26.
Thank you, Kristen. The second impeachment trial for former President Donald Trump begins today, and law enforcement officials are beefing up security around the Capitol in case of violence. National Guard members are still patrolling the Capitol complex, which is also surrounded by 8-foot non-scalable fences that are topped by razor wire. All 9 House Democratic impeachment managers will have special security teams following them around. As of right now, federal law enforcement officials say they aren't tracking any specific and credible threats, but they will remain on high alert. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Minority Leader Mitch McConnell are close to agreeing on a resolution for President Trump's second impeachment trial. So far, they have reportedly agreed to the following terms. The proceedings will begin today with a 4-hour debate on whether the trial is constitutional. That issue will be decided by a simple majority vote. Then, starting tomorrow, each side will be given up to 16 hours for presentations. Impeachment managers can decide whether to debate the issues or call witnesses. The trial will pause at 5 p.m. Friday and pick up Sunday afternoon at the request of Trump's legal team to allow observance of the Jewish Sabbath. And lawyers for former President Trump have laid out arguments that they'll use in his Senate impeachment trial. Trump's attorneys filed a 75-page pre-trial legal brief yesterday. In it, they say the trial is unconstitutional because Trump isn't any longer president. They also argue their client didn't incite last month's U.S. Capitol riots because during it, he urged the crowd to be peaceful. Trump's attorneys believe his speech before the riot is also protected by the First Amendment. They accuse House Democrats of of engaging in political theater instead of, quote, acting to heal the nation. Facebook has announced several ways it plans to better combat vaccine misinformation. One is by making it harder to find anti-vaccine information on its Instagram platform. The announcement comes after CNN reported that Instagram continues to prominently feature anti-vaxxer accounts in its search results. Facebook groups rallying against vaccines also remain easy to find. The findings are raising concerns among public health experts since the country's in the middle of its largest vaccine rollout ever to address the pandemic. A Texas Republican is the first sitting member of Congress to die after coming down with coronavirus. Representative Ron Wright was also being treated for lung cancer when he tested positive for the virus the day after President Biden took office. At the time, Wright said he had been feeling okay and planned to work from home. He was 67 years old. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg will be quarantining for 14 days after a member of his security team tested positive for COVID-19. Department of Transportation Chief of Staff Laura Schiller made the announcement yesterday. She said Buttigieg tested negative yesterday morning and hasn't shown any symptoms. However, she added that he had been in close contact with that agent Monday morning as well. Buttigieg has already received his first dose of the vaccine. He's expected to get a second dose when he finishes his 2-week quarantine.